Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. I want to give all praise, all glory, all honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakahakodash. Want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and love and peace and salutations to you. Hopefully, like brothers out here pushing this truth across the four corners of the globe, and to you, sincere sisters that are listening. I want to say shalom. All right. Today I'm just gonna hit a quick little lesson on training up a child, you know, and that goes naturally, and as well as spiritually, you know. Um, it's like a double fold, lesson because you got to train your children within your household, and you have to train, new brothers, all right, that are coming into the camps or whatnot, or younger brothers that are, you have to help them and train them up with the scriptures, all right. And as a man of the Lord, you have to really, you know, put a big effort into doing such things, because this is a very important job, all right. Because your fruit, all right, and the way you teach brothers is a reflection of yourself. Their conduct and the things that they do is a reflection, all right, of leadership, all right. And that's why us at Great Millstone are setting a great example, across the globe on conduct and how to carry yourself, all right, as men of the Lord, not bending, all right, to the will of this world, or not trying to be men pleasers, or not doing this for filthy lucre or for a woman. We're doing this for the love of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, all right, and that's something that we have to teach the young brothers that are coming in, all right, and as well as your children, at the household. You have to train them up in a way, all right, that they can maneuver and know what to do in the society that we're living in, all right, because they've been getting taught lies their whole life, all right. They're getting taught lies in the school system. They're getting taught lies on the streets, all right. And us as parents, naturally and spiritually, we have a job to do, all right, to set the record straight, so to speak, you know. So I'm gonna give my first precept. This is Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6. It says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. All right, you know why? Because he's um, locked into the training that he has. All right, and if he don't know nothing else, that's all he knows. That's what he'll pretty much push out there. All right. So when you train them, all right, have you ever seen a kid that's just running all over the store, knocking things down, crying, all right, and doing all this and just bad behavior, all right? Why? Because they haven't been trained, all right? They haven't been disciplined. They haven't been corrected, all right? So they're just wow and brute. But you notice a child that's been trained, all right? He sits there and he asks for what he want. He or she asks for what they want. They just are well behaved children. So you'll know the difference. All right, from a kid that has no training and a kid, all right, that does. And likewise in this truth, all right, you'll know brothers that are getting proper training and the brothers that that are not, all right, by their conduct, all right. And I reflect to this back to like different camps, all right. Uh, um, I reflect back to a couple of weeks ago when a fight broke out. You know, now you have the right to protect yourself, but this was between two camps, all right, that are reading the scriptures. And I don't want to bring this up, but they got to fighting. Why? Because the training wasn't there proper. They weren't properly trained on how to behave in certain scenarios. All right, that had them acting what out of character. All right, why? Because they had no restraint. All right, due to lack of training. All right, so it's very important to train. All right, your children as well, spiritually these brothers on conduct and moral and morality and things of that nature through the scriptures. All right, everything is filtered through the scriptures. So I'm gonna go jump down to verse 15, Proverbs 22 and 15. It said, "Foolishness is bound." in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. All right, and I'm gonna go naturally first. All right, you get your belt, and you when your child is acting up, you get a belt and you pop his ass. You know, his or her ass, man, and let her know through the behavior that you're pushing. All right, you can't do this. All right, and there's disciplinary actions that happen if you act outside of what I've taught you. All right, so you pop them to what? Let them know there's consequences for your actions. All right, if you want to act bad, then I'll take the belt out. All right, and if you put on good behavior, maybe we'll go to the store or do something that you like. All right, all right, because good behavior is rewarded. Now, if we're gonna go spiritually, all right, we correct them with what? The scriptures. All right, this is the guide. All right, to an Israelite and behavior is through the scriptures. All right, and it's a job as us men of the Lord. All right, and teachers and people that are in authority. All right, or overseers of brothers. All right, to make sure that the conduct of each brother is on point. All right, and we correct them what through the scriptures. All right, the scriptures say don't do this and don't do that, as well as giving them advice on certain things that that happen in their life. You know, as far as some brothers don't know everything about life. And how insurance works and things of that nature. Just to throw something out there. All right, so it's our job to what help them to get better at whatever that they're doing. Salakia. Oh, my tongue is getting tired. All right, but we have a job to do as leaders and men of the Lord. All right, to help the brothers to stay on the right course and correct them with the scriptures. All right, and different testimonies that we have. All right, as we've getting older. All right, and been through that. So we've accumulated a lot of wisdom through the years that we've been on this earth. All right, so that right there in itself helps. When younger brothers are going through different scenarios within their life, but the main correction, all right, is through the scriptures. All right, that's the main focal point. All right, is do we correct and keep brothers on that straight and narrow? All right, that they're not, acting out, or being an embarrassment, all right, to the camp because they haven't been taught. All right. I'm gonna get my next scriptures in Ecclesiasticus or Sirach. Chapter 30 and starting at verse 3. It says, he that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he hath left one behind him that is like himself. All right. So if you're putting out what you're supposed to put out, the brothers they'll put out what they supposed to put out, as leaders. All right. So it's and I'm speaking spiritually right now, all right, because and I'm gonna start with Apostle Har. He's put and the Apostle Bar, Apostle Ramlab, and Apostle Rakah have put out different. They have put out great examples of what to live by. All right. So they've passed it on, and their fruit, us younger brothers have grasped to how they live and what they teach, and that's what we do. So they've passed on what they've learned to us younger brothers to pass on to who? The younger brothers that are here now. All right. So, which is a beautiful thing. All right. I'm going to read that again. It says, I'm going to read verse 4. It says, though his father died, yet he is as though he were not dead. Why? Because you're doing the same thing that you were taught to do. All right. So it's like a legacy thing. When you pass your legacy on, your son is doing the same thing that you're doing. So it's important, all right, to be a great example, all right, for the brothers that are coming in to this faith, all right, and try to be, be a good example. Try to, staying on point. All right, not getting too familiar with younger brothers, and just filtering everything through the scriptures. All right, so when you're not around, those brothers, well, more than likely, I'm not saying all the time, but more than likely, they'll make the right decision. All right, from seeing your lifestyle and listening to the things that you've taught them through the scriptures. All right, the correct way. All right, you got to have the correct doctrine too. I'm going to put that out there too. All right, because a lot of Israelite camps don't have the correct doctrine. So, some of the brothers might be all over the place. All right, and even in Great Millstone, you got brothers that grew up kind of rough. All right, you grew up in a rough city or in a rough neighborhood. I myself grew up in a rough city and a rough neighborhood. So, it took a little bit more for me to grasp this information, but I was a little older when I came to the truth as well. So, you know, it didn't take long for me to learn and to adapt. All right, to the ways that I was taught. All right, because I had done all that crap when I was a younger man. All right, so I wasn't enthused about it. I'm thankful for the teaching that I got from my elders, and apostles. All right, so like the scripture is saying, you learn from who you've been taught by, and you teach the ones that are under you. All right, the same thing. All right, and everything that we teach is filtered through the scriptures. All right, and even on a carnal sense, your children. All right, you teach them the ways to have at least good moral conduct. All right, out there, while they're maneuvering through this society and this world. All right, so it's all about the training that you're getting. All right, which is being pushed. All right, and people will see it in your day-to-day life. All right, I'm gonna go to Deuteronomy. I'm gonna get two more precepts and I'm gonna close this out. This is Deuteronomy chapter 4 and in verse 9. It says, only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently. All right, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen. All right, so you got to put in work. When you've been taught these things, you got to stay up on top of it, man. Or guess what? It'll slip your mind. All right, that's why it's important, all right, to study, to constantly being around godly men and things of that nature, as the scriptures has taught us. All right, it says, unless they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life, but teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons. All right, so it's going back to you training who? All right, your children. All right, you talking to the men of the Lord. All right, this conduct and behaviors that they're supposed to have that are filtered through the scriptures. Everything is filtered through the scriptures. I can't say that enough. All right, and it's important. All right, that you listen to the ones that are ruling over you, because the scriptures tell us what to obey those that have rule over us. All right, so you can't be bucking up. All right, when your elders or your people that are above you, all right, are talking to you, you have to what? Listen. All right, that's why you have two ears and one mouth, to listen to the more than you talk. All right, and I've learned that at a young age, even before the truth, to just pay attention to things. All right, that way get in way less trouble. All right, but it says teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons. So this information was supposed to be handed down from generation to generation. All right, so it's important, like I said before, that the younger brothers in the camp, pay attention to the conduct of the elders in their camps. Pay attention to the conduct, all right, of older brothers in their camp. All right. I'm gonna get my next scriptures. It's in Deuteronomy chapter 6. I'm gonna start at verse 1. It said, now these, and I'm gonna jump down to 5. It's Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 1. It said, now these are the commandments, that the statutes and the judgments which thy Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, your power, commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it. All right, and I'm gonna jump down to verse 5 and 6, because this is 5, 6, and 7, because this is the point. It says, and thou shalt love the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, thy power with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and ye shall teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk to them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. All right. So this is a continual thing that's to be taught on a day-to-day basis. All right. That's why it's great that the brothers and Great Millstone push out videos. All right. Because I listen to a lot of brothers' videos, and they are important. All right. They keep you, rooted, listening to these beautiful videos that are pushed out. All right. All day, every day, man. All right. But it's all about teaching. All right. New brothers that are coming in, and also keeping these things in the forefront of your own mind as well. All right. So I just want to hit that and touch that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, and I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. All right. Shalom.